Hey guys, it's Alex here, and I'm back with Marquee Mix-Ups for our second episode. And this is the Manchester derby of Manchester United versus Manchester City. So, who are the two players we're going to choose to swap today? If we go to our shortlist, we can see in our shortlist, obviously, Kevin De Bruyne of Man City and Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United. Or should I say, Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester United and Bruno Fernandes of Manchester City. So we're going to swap them over, both midfielders, attacking midfielders, playing in Manchester. Let's swap them over and see how they fare at each other's clubs. So of course first we're going to do the regular season, so we'll sim one season and go through the stats of them at their normal clubs, and then we'll sim a season of them switched over and look at that, and then we'll do 4 more on each, and we can look at the averages to see who performs better and which team actually performs better with each player in each side. So let's go look at the regular season right now. Okay, so we're back now. We've simmed one season, as you can see, it's now 2021 in our save, and these are the ones with De Bruyne at Man City and Fernandes at United. So, if we look at the Premier League, Liverpool win it to Chelsea by 1 point, to City in third by 1 point, and then United actually in fourth on 76 points. So that's quite interesting. So let's go to the players to see how they did. So Kevin De Bruyne, 41 appearances, 9 goals, 13 assists, 4 player of the matches, and an average rating of 7.47. While Fernandes has had a stellar season. Oh my goodness, 55 appearances, 26 goals, 11 assists, 9 man of the matches, but an average rating lower than De Bruyne's at 7.34. Very, very interesting. So if we look at Kevin De Bruyne, and his stats, Champions League had 8 appearances, 2 goals and 1 assist. The Premier League had 28 appearances, which is quite low actually, 6 goals, 11 assists, and then a few in the Cups, while Fernandes had 18 goals in the league. He played pretty much every game and 9 assists. Incredible play by him, to be completely fair. He definitely had the best season sort of goals and assists wise, but average rating still quite low, which is quite interesting. I wonder if that's changed things somehow. If we look at De Bruyne, they had 8 games in the Continental Football. Let's see how Man City did overall with their schedules. Obviously they came third in the Carabao Cup. Where did they come? They got to the quarters, they got to the semis, they beat Chelsea in the semis. They actually won. They beat United in the final 3-0. Wow, that is something. So De Bruyne's Man City beat Fernandes's United in the final there. De Bruyne playing in the centre there, so that's quite big there. In the FA Cup, where did they finish? They lost to Chelsea in the third round, and they actually got to the final of the Champions League, losing on extra time to Barcelona. My goodness, they beat Chelsea as well in the semis. They're really playing Chelsea a lot there, but my goodness. So City had a fantastic season really, apart from the third in the Premier League, which is quite low for them. I think they did very well. Okay, now if we look at Man United, let's see how their schedule went. So, obviously we know they got to the Carabao Cup final, but they lost to City. In the FA Cup, they got to the final as well and lost to Tottenham. Harry Kane there, no longer of Arsenal, of Tottenham, beating them there. And they only got to the Champions League first knockout round, where they lost to Barcelona, who eventually beat Man City as well. So they lost the eventual winner. So both teams doing very well actually in the Cup and the League, which is interesting. We'll have to see how that goes when we do a few more simulations of this. But overall, it looks like Fernandes does fantastically at United in this one. But yeah, so now let's swap them over. De Bruyne moves to Man United, and Fernandes moves to Man City. So we'll be back for that one. Okay, so we're now back. We've swapped over. So let's look at the Premier League. If we can get there, let's look at the shortlist. Let's go to the Premier League. So Liverpool win the Premier League this season again. Man City comes second, and Man United fourth. So Man City actually improved there 1 place, but that is just on goal difference. Can we see anything in these stats? Kevin De Bruyne actually there, average rating third in the league and highest on assists and player of the matches. So that's quite interesting there. So let's move to the shortlist and see how our players did. So De Bruyne played a lot more matches actually. 52 appearances, 14 goals, much better than before, and 23 assists with 12 player of the matches and an average rating of 7.56. Well, Fernandes only plays 38 games, 12 goals, much less, and 6 assists with 2 player of the matches and an average rating of 7.28. So there's a noticeable difference there. Kevin De Bruyne, I guess he was the star man for them here. 10 goals in the league, 17 assists in the league. 3 goals in Continental and 1. Did very well in the Cups with assists, so he obviously was playing in there. Let's have a look where he was playing in their sort of lineup. He's a sub at the moment, but I assume he was playing mostly attacking midfielder for him. Can we actually see? No. But let's go to Fernandes, because obviously he wasn't playing as much. He didn't play at all really as much as the other time. He had 26 appearances in the league, so obviously De Bruyne suffered the same sort of thing. He only started 22 games, started 5 in the Cup. He started a lot of the Continental games, which is interesting, but very odd. He got rested in the league, it seems. I guess that is due to Man City's depth in attack, while Man United don't really have that, so they sort of have to play every game. But much less output from Fernandes there. But let's look at the sort of their competition. So Man City, how did they do? Obviously they finished better, finishing second in the league. Carabao Cup, what happened there? Let's filter it. Let's put no competition, so let's put the Carabao Cup on. They won it versus Arsenal, so both Fernandes and De Bruyne win the Carabao Cup there. 3-0 win against Arsenal there. FA Cup, let's see how they did. They got to the final. They lost. Oh my God, that's another loss for Fernandes versus De Bruyne. A 1-0 in the final. Fernandes plays centre mid there, while De Bruyne plays centre mid. So he wasn't playing attacking mid, he was playing centre mid there. But De Bruyne gets another one over him in the Carabao Cup this time, which is interesting. And then let's look at the Champions League. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Okay. So Man City have done it. They've actually won the Champions League, and all it took was Bruno Fernandes coming in. They beat Chelsea in the semis, they beat PSG, they had a very easy group, and they beat Liverpool in the final. He didn't even take a penalty. Oh, he took the first penalty. They beat Liverpool in the final after a 0-0 draw. So that is massive for Man City. So Fernandes, maybe that's what you need, lads. Very interesting there. So let's look at United now. So we know they won the what's it called, the Carabao Cup. But what about the other one? So FA Cup. Oh, we know they won the FA Cup, but the Carabao Cup they lost to Liverpool in the third round. Understandable. Champions League, they only got to the first knockout round and they got destroyed by Bayern. So I guess that's sort of part of it. Man United's overall squad isn't as good, even though I don't think De Bruyne did play in that game, and he played in the second game, both 7.4. So he was far and away the best player on the pitch for him, but just couldn't do anything for him. So yeah, that's very interesting. So obviously De Bruyne did much better at United there, much like Fernandes did at United, but competitions-wise, Man City won the Champions League and finished higher. So very interesting there. But now let's do 4 more sims of both, and then we can start looking at sort of the averages of who performed better at which club and who performed better out of the two of them. Or how they performed each teams. So yeah, let's go into that. Okay, and we're back now. So let's look at the comparisons after we've done 5 simulations of both players at both teams. So just coming up to the screen now is a couple of graphs of De Bruyne at Manchester City and Manchester United, and then at Fernandes at Man United and Man City. So we'll go through De Bruyne's first. So over 5 seasons, we've simulated him at Man City. His average amount of appearances was 45. His average goals was about 7. Assists were 18. His player of the matches was 5.8, and his average rating overall was 7.4. Then we moved into Manchester City, No, he didn't. We moved him to Manchester United. His appearances average was 52, so that went up from the 45. His goals also went up from 7 to 13. His assists also went up significantly, an average of 26 assists while at United. The best season he had was 32 assists. His number of player of the matches was also increased with 13 average player of the matches, and his average rating overall went up as well, 7.5. So very interesting that he actually played more and was consistently better at Man United than he was at Manchester City, which is very interesting. Now we look at Fernandes as well. So at Manchester United, he played 50 games on average with 19 goals, incredibly high, with the best one that first season with 26, an average of 10 assists, 6.2 player of the matches, and 7.3 average rating. Then when we move him to Manchester City, his appearances go down from 50 to 41. His goals halved practically, down from 19 to 10. His assists also go down to an average of 6.8 assists a season. His player of the matches go down completely to 2.4 a season, with one season him getting 0 total player of the matches. And then his average rating also goes down slightly from 7.3 to 7.2. So it's obvious looking at both of these graphs that the players actually personally perform much better at the Manchester United, which is really interesting actually when you compare it. So yeah, that's interesting there. Now we can look at the player comparisons at each club to see who did better at Manchester City and who did better at Manchester United. Okay, so now we have two more graphs. So this is showing the players at Manchester United and Manchester City and their performances. So first we'll look at Manchester United. So Fernandes at Manchester United had an average appearance of 50, while De Bruyne had 52, so a couple more there. Fernandes averaged 19 goals overall, while De Bruyne averaged 13, so Fernandes doing much better on the goal front there. However, when you look at the assists, De Bruyne has an average of 26 assists compared to Fernandes' 10, so completely outranks him there. Also, double the amount of player of the matches. De Bruyne's 13 to Fernandes' 6.2, and then average rating, De Bruyne had a 7.5 to Fernandes' 7.3, so quite a significant average rating increase there. Then we look at Manchester City. De Bruyne actually had more appearances at Man City than Fernandes did. De Bruyne averaged 45, while Fernandes averaged 41. But as you can see, a definite drop from their Manchester United appearances. Goals-wise, Fernandes actually had a few more, 10 goals to De Bruyne's 7, but still quite close there. Assists-wise, De Bruyne smashes at 18 assists to Fernandes' 6.8. Player of the matches, De Bruyne also wins this, 5.8 to Fernandes' 2.4. And then yet again, another 0.2 average rating increase. De Bruyne averaging a 7.4 and Fernandes averaging a 7.2. So as you can see there, it seems to be that Fernandes will always win on goals, but assists, player of the matches, average rating, De Bruyne always comes out on top. So it's kind of understandable, seeing as De Bruyne on stats in FM is considered the better player. As you can see that he really does sort of, especially at Manchester United when he is the key man, his personal stats go through the roof. Like one season he had I think it was 11 goals and 32 assists, which is quite incredible. But yeah, so now let's look at how the teams fared, and whether they were better off with De Bruyne or better off with not Manchester United, with Fernandes. Okay, so let's look at the teams now. So we have a little Excel spreadsheet here to show you. So this shows De Bruyne at City and at United and how well they did in all the competitions. So De Bruyne at City, he achieves 1 first and 3 second places and 1 third place, while in the FA Cup he achieves 1 winners. He won that once, 2 finals, a quarter-final, and a third round. He won the Carabao Cup once, got to a final once, a quarter-final, a semi-final, and a 4th round. De Bruyne then got into Europe, into the Champions League, to 1 final, 1 semi-final, and 3 first knockout rounds. So overall, in 5 years, he had 3 cup competition wins, 7 second places, and 3 third places. Then we moved to his time at United. It didn't do very well here. 2 third places, 2 fourths, and a 6th. The FA Cup was much more successful. 2 winners' medals, 2 set runners-ups, and a quarter-final. In the Carabao Cup, he got to 2 finals but didn't win, 2 quarters and a third round. And then in the Champions League, he had 4 first knockout round exits and a quarter-final exit. So noticeably less here. Only 2 wins, 4 second places, and 2 third places. Now we look at Fernandes. If we go to his time at City, he got 2 first places, 2 seconds, and 1 third. The FA Cup, he had 2 winners, 1 final place, 1 fourth round, and 1 third round. Carabao Cup, he won, and he also got to a final, 2 semi-finals, and a 4th round. And then in the Champions League, he actually won it twice and got to a final where they came second, a quarter-final, and a first knockout round. So he won every competition he was in over the 5 years there at Manchester City, which is crazy. They actually did the treble in the 3rd simulation, winning the league, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. So overall, he had 7 wins while he was at City, 6 second place finishes, and 1 third place finish. And his time at United, he had 3 third places in the league, a 4th place and a 5th place. He won the FA Cup once, got to a final once, 2 fifth rounds and a quarters. The Carabao Cup, he won once, got to a final once, a 1 semi-final and 2 fourth rounds. And similarly in Champions League, he got 4 first knockout rounds and a quarterfinals, just like De Bruyne did. So at Man United, he won 2 cups, 2 second places, and 4 third round places. So when you compare their time at United, Fernandes slightly comes a bit worse off. He does a bit better in the league, but De Bruyne has 4 second places to Fernandes' second. But the real difference here is Fernandes at City completely outstrips De Bruyne here. De Bruyne only has 3 wins. He only won the league once, the FA Cup once, and the Carabao Cup once, but came second a lot with 7 second place finishes. But Fernandes at City had 7 wins, 2 league winners, 2 FA Cups, a Carabao, and 2 Champions League final, on top of having 6 second place finishes. So he was completely much better off at City for winning trophies than De Bruyne is, which is a bit mental to say the least. So one of the conclusions we can make for this is if City want to win the Champions League, they need to trade De Bruyne in for Fernandes. I don't know what it is or whether it's just simulations, but it seems that Fernandes does much better at City than De Bruyne does. It's very odd because De Bruyne does do better stats-wise, but I don't know, maybe the fact that Fernandes has a lot more goals from midfield adds to that City attack a lot more than De Bruyne does. Like De Bruyne is putting the assists in or putting the balls in, but no one's there to finish it, and that's where Fernandes comes in. Overall, Fernandes does have a higher trophy cabinet over both teams, with 9 wins to De Bruyne's 5 over the 2 teams, and has slightly less second place is 8 to De Bruyne's 11, and then third place is 5 to 4. But those wins are the key thing there. So yeah, it was a very interesting test. The big problem thing was the competitions, which really surprised me. But yeah. So that will be the end of today's episode in comparing Fernandes and De Bruyne. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And next week we're doing something slightly different. We're going to be looking at Aston Villa, West Brom, and Wolverhampton. So we're going to be doing 3 teams and swapping them over their marquee players between 3 different teams. So we're going to have 3 different sort of altercations or simulations run where they all move around once to each team and see who does better where. So I guess you probably know who Aston Villa's is already, but you might not know Wolves or West Brom's. So you'll have to come back next weekend to see them. So otherwise, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been Alex, and I'll see you guys next time.